Another beautiful day on the water in the boat. Not really. Too windy today. But today we are going to talk about my favorite upgrade of the mini boat series, and that is going to be the EVA Amazon boat flooring. I've got some really good things to say, some honest things to say, and how it's been holding up after about 2 months of heavy use and abuse. I don't really clean it. Some parts are in fact coming up. I'm not exactly sure where, but I know this guy's coming up. What I'm doing to mitigate that, and how well it holds stains, and everything you need to know about this foam. So I get a lot of comments on the Facebook group about where I got this and how I did it and all that stuff, and we'll kind of talk about it. But I did link below for your convenience literally everything that's on this boat, including the foam. Now they do have different patterns and designs, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it is going to be linked in the description if you would like to check it out. So first, functionally, I'll tell you exactly why I got it. So when I'm sitting on my boat, you know, things started sliding around. I'd take this into the ocean and we would hit some chop, and my water bottle was sliding, my phone was kind of sliding through here, and our tackle boxes and storage boxes, it was all just kind of sliding around, and I'd set my foot up here, whether I'm using, because I use this as a step to get off my boat a lot. This was really slick. I like to put my feet up here when I'm standing casting, and it was really slick. So I just needed some more grip more than anything, and especially right here, this is where I like to keep my phone and anything like pliers, lures, all sorts of stuff, and everything was just sliding around on the slick plastic. So this is one of the main reasons I got this foam, and the grip is phenomenal. A lot of people put these on their john boats and even their big boats, center consoles, not really bass boats just because you don't really need them, but you know, all sorts of different kind of flat surface deck boats. These are becoming really popular, not only for grip, but because they are very comfortable on your feet, which we will also talk about. So functionally, the grip is phenomenal, and I opted for a different flooring down here, but again, we'll talk about that. So not only the grip, but I'm always dropping stuff. You know, my hands are wet when I'm fishing, so I'm dropping my phone, I'm dropping my reel rod, I'm dropping water bottles, I'm just, you know, doing all sorts of stuff, and everything bounced off of everything, and it would vibrate and it would spook fish, because obviously this is a kind of a silent electric boat. So I don't want to spook fish any more than I have to. So being able to set things down, and instead of it going like this, you go like that. A lot more absorb the vibrations. And that's a big reason why I went with the big, fat, half-inch thick interlocking foam mats, which are also linked below. These are a great option for a flooring if you have a john boat or this style of boat. I like it better than this on the bottom, but topic for a different day. So not only did it hold my stuff, my gear in place, but it also absorbs the sound of everything, even picking up and putting back down the anchor. Of course, it's still gonna make noise, but it absorbs it and its vibrations a little bit more, which is nice. And also, as you can tell, it's super easy to apply because it cuts perfectly with an X-Acto knife. Now, I actually broke my X-Acto knife and ended up having to use just standard dull kitchen scissors. And it ended up actually working pretty well. I kind of eyeballed most of this, so I'm shocked that it even looks as good as it does, but it's super easy to apply. You literally just measure it out, and I just kind of eyeballed the corners and cut them as I went. You can fine tune it with the X-Acto knife, and it's really, really, really easy to cut, bend, and kind of mold into place. Which is what I really enjoy about it. It does have adhesive backing on the back of it, but I am going to recommend that you pick up what I picked up, an additional adhesive spray, especially if you're putting it on slick plastic like this. You're definitely gonna want it. And when things pop up like this, I can pull that back, spray it down there, let it get tack dry, set it down, and it'll be good for another few months, which in fact I need to do. So you are going to want to get some extra adhesive spray, and the one I picked up and the one I've got linked below will bond really well with the adhesive backing already on it, and it just makes your life a lot easier. If you're confident that you're going to have your foam in place for a long time, you can etch it, which basically means that you can scratch it up, you can get some sandpaper, and then you can etch it up so that way it really bonds in there with the plastic. I didn't do that, but I just went with the spray and it worked well. Now, you are gonna have some places that will come up more than others. You know, it just kind of depends on your method, how much time you put into it, how well you cleaned and prepped the surface, the type of surface it is. But overall, for the price, you absolutely cannot beat the stick, ease of use, the performance, everything like that. Now let's just talk about the look. Functionality aside, it has made my life a lot easier, but it looks sharp, doesn't it? I mean, you gotta admit, it looks real sharp. And the cool part is they have different designs and different patterns. And I just went with this because my boat already came with those white and gray seats. The boat was gray. I figured black and white, it would match perfectly, and it looks like it does. But I went with this design because I didn't want the runways for the water. I didn't want the diamond patterns. I just wanted something super simple and clean looking since I'm only using a little bit of it. But this was also the cheapest because it's the most simple design. So it's nice and clean and the cheapest. Might not be the best design for your boat. You might want stuff that has grooves and gutters so that way your water can flow naturally. But I've already got that taken care of with the design of the boat. So there are lots of different options to make any boat, even old, a classic, even a new boat that just needs a little extra pop. I mean, look at the contrast. It looks really good. You can't deny that. It definitely transformed this from a nasty, not nasty, but a boring plastic mold because the whole boat was like this, including the ground. And this just brought a lot of extra life into it. And it's extremely functional. So let's talk about something important. Does it clean well? Now, I never really clean my boat. I take it in salt water. As you can see, that's why things start peeling up because the salt water and the sand chips away at it. I just don't really care. But when I first got it, I cared a lot. And now I have bled all over this multiple times. Fish have bled all over this multiple times. Soda and coffee. That is actually coffee. I don't think that's blood. That is coffee. And if I wanted to, I could wipe it down and it would wash away. Now it's been sitting on there for about a month now, so it might be a different story. But it is very easy to clean and it does not absorb water or other liquids, which is really nice. So that way you can just wash your boat out. You don't have to do too much scrubbing and it just comes right out. Obviously, I put mine through the ringer and I don't do a lot of cleaning because it's just a little 10-foot plastic boat. But little things like that, I mean, the day we come home, these things will be covered. And by the time we get back here, after trailering it down the highway, most of it's blown off or blown out or cleaned itself, or, you know, you take it out the next time and you get water on it and it just washes out. So I never really clean it. And if you're concerned about keeping your boat looking clean, this will do a great job of making your life easier since you can just wash it down. Overall, I am a huge fan of the foam. This is one of the best and cheapest upgrades, even though you will need additional adhesive spray. And I recommend you getting a roller so you can really ensure 100% flat bondage on the surface of your boat. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna give this a solid 8 out of 10. The only reason it's not 10 out of 10 is the fact that you have to buy other products to make it perfect. But if you do, it basically will do any job you want. This applies to boats tiny and cheap as dirt like this one. I've seen them on 30-foot yachts. I've seen them on sailboats. I've seen them on center consoles. I've seen these things on every type of boat, and everybody seems to love it. And not to mention, if you do put this on the flat parts of your boat and you're actually walking on this, I walk on this, but if you walk on this, a lot of owners of bigger boats have reported far less feet fatigue, and overall just makes standing on the boat a lot more comfortable because, well, it is foam. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy this footage of me using the boat so you can see the foam in its different conditions, saltwater, freshwater, standing on it, putting gear on it, spilling things, all sorts of stuff like that. This gets used, and I recommend it. You can check them out with the link in the description, along with the other materials I suggest, and I'll see you in the next boating video.